computer, lights.
Good morning, everybody. I have knocked around everything back here. We're going to try to get this all straightened out. Let's see here if we can't do this. There we go. Move this more like this. There we go. I'm at my new standing desk station here. And we're going to spend the day not doing art. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to redo it though with my new desks now that I've got everything. But everything now is a standing desk, as you can see. I've got one over there. I've got one here. I've got my my main line over there. I've got George right there, but he doesn't know it yet. Okay, I don't know why Winamp did not actually fire off. Trying to figure out what's wrong with Winamp. But anyway, so today we're going to finish working on this section right over here. It's kind of hard to see, but everything got piled over here. So we're going to work on that today. That's what we're going to do. The drafting board's actually from the 60s. And it is a 1964 Mayline. Gonna get that straightened out there. So the Mayline has an engineering level on it and has the Mayline itself. The Mayline is, not only is it a brand, but it's also the term for this line that goes up and over that keeps the T-square straight. So that's the whole thing. So that's the plan here. Anyway, so the Mayline has its own camera sitting on top of the light. The light needs to go into this mount right here, but I don't have the bit for it. So we're going to have to get a larger bit for that. Right? Well, so that's one of those funny stories. A buddy of mine had this. Good morning, Brent. Brent's over on Twitch, so you won't see him from Facebook, Andrew. So I have a friend. I still have a friend, and her whole family is kind of into the antiques, mostly antique cars. But every so often she comes across like wild things. This is, by the way, my best friend from 4th grade's sister. So I've literally known her all of her life. And every so often she will trip over something and she'll be like, oh, you need this. And one day she called me and she's like, I've got this Mayline. I don't want it. You want the Mayline? And I'm like, oh, man, an actual legit Mayline? That's so cool. So she just gave it to me. She was like, I can bring it over. And then like a year or so later, she's like, I got an engineering ruler. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, one of those mid-50s, mid-60s engineering rulers. You want that? And I'm like, absolutely, man. So, except for the fact that that light's mounted on it right now, but the light's just sitting on the engineering ruler. And that's until tonight when I can go get a bigger drill bit. Because this drill bit, ironically, is not big enough Here, this is the drill bit I was using to try to drill that hole in this mount over here. And I ended up, that's great. It fits in the hole just fine. But sadly, this guy's bigger. So there's that. I wonder how big that guy is. Yeah, because I think he's, I'm going to need a half-inch bit. That's what I'm going to need for that. Yeah. Yeah. That's about right. Let me move these curtains over a little. So if I open the curtains to this window, I get very washed out. So I have to keep the curtains closed just a little bit. But the point behind this was, yes, not Bobby Fischer as in Fisher, Fisher Bobby. I get it. So the setup here is actually really cool. I've got my drawing tablet here. Monitor 1 and monitor 2 are right here. I've got two lights that are bouncing light here. And I've got my main, what we call a key, right here. This light that you can see right here, this guy, I'm going to turn him around sometime during our show today and face him back across this wall, because right now, as you can see, the wall is kind of boring. We'll figure something out for that wall. And then we're just going to work on, you better get moving, you little beast. So that's what we're going to do today. You're going to keep me company, and I'm going to keep you company today as we do this. I don't know what happened to Winamp, but it is borked. I'm going to close it. Or reboot Winamp. Which may bork both times. We'll have to see. Weird. Winamp's just having a bad hair day. That's kind of a bummer. I can't keep focus on it either. Every so often, there is something. It's always something. So, all right, the first thing we're going to do is over here. I have the skirt down here. And the skirt can be lifted up so that we can, and this is part of it, there's no storage space under here, which was part of the mission parameter. Give myself storage space so that I could ultimately put all of the boxes that belong to the printer, which the printer is going to go up there at some point here. Actually, the printer might be a good thing to put up there. Move this guy over to here. Might not be a bad idea. All right. This little rack of cool things belongs, well, over here, I think. We'll put it right there. Temporarily. Everything in my office got moved into this corner, so there's room to move things around, which is fine, except now everything in my office needs to move away from that corner. My wife thought she was being cute when she put my desks under here. But now what we have is I need to move these desks to get to things. I'm unsure I can do that without killing power. So if I disconnect the show, you'll know what happened. One down. Two down. All right. Moving one desk out of the way. There we go. We're moving the second desk out of the way. There we go. Now, this piece of wood is actually a shelf unit that goes with those shelves over there. But we're going to slide it under here to give a small amount of altitude to my little blue box. There's a couple of reasons we want to do that. Least of which is that we want this to look, George, you're going to get crushed if you do this. I know you're curious as to what I'm doing. However, quite literally, you're going to get stomped on here, dude. George, of course, being George, is fascinated with what's going on. Okay. That was, weird. Okay. Actually, let's take this desk. This, speaking of old things, this is an old school desk. You know, one of those ones that we were supposed to hide under in case of a nuclear explosion. That's good. That's good stuff. Solid, whatever, 1980s construction. Okay. You got one power block on here. And here's the other power block on here. And it looks like we managed to put the power blocks back on. George has gone insane. Before or without losing primary power. Go us. Go team. Now we'll take this guy and move him over here. Because that's actually where he lives. There we go. Do you want a ketchup packet? Here, I'll give it to you. All right. The best part about this is we now have access to the bookshelf. The bookshelf needs to be straightened up, but at least for right now, we can put things on the bookshelf. That's great. Whew. here belongs over here. There. Now the question's going to be, where do we put things like this? This is the new look. Brent, my good man. Well, I don't know if this is the permanent new look, but this is the standing desk. So that's at least a cool thing, right? So we've got our standing desks going in. It's great. And I mean, I'll still be working pretty much from here. The difference is that now I'll have my drawing monitor here, and whenever we're not actually in show, I have the ability to lean right here and draw on my drawing monitor. So that's what's really going on here. Let me put this right there. So that's a good thing. All right. Now, the truth of the matter is we've got all kinds of stuff that we can do here. Right? I mean, I do have the ability to, I've got this, the stool that usually lives over on the computer over there can be raised up so I can be here and still sit and relax for a second if I need to, which will be good for a while. I mean, the whole point behind this is that my back is in really bad shape and needs to straighten out. And a lot of that just means that I'm going to be standing a lot instead of sitting from now on. The idea here is that the desks are standing desks. We've got that desk is a standing desk. And then this is the only sitting spot. But even that, I'm going to try to raise the drafting arms because I think I can do that a little, and that should work. So that's where we are on this. It is 9:30. All right, so I now can put a clock there and a clock there and actually read the clocks on there. I don't have a clock in here yet, but I should figure out one. All right. And now I just worry about George, who's over there doing weird things because he's George, and that's what George does, I guess. Okay. Next thing is next. Yes. Here we have a bicycle. No, I don't know who that is. But they're calling during the middle of my show, and I work. So I feel like that's the solar people who keep calling me to tell me what they're doing today, because everything that those people have, everything that they have done has to occur between 9 and 11 every day. They really do not do anything except 9 to 11. So they are routinely calling, ending up here, showing up here, all kinds of stuff, all the time. And I keep telling them I broadcast in the middle of the day. And they keep going, oh, okay, we're sorry, we won't do that. And then they do. Yep. That's a voicemail. Okay, so what these are is a bunch of tablecloths from the Denver Merchandise Mart. The Denver Merchandise Mart went out of business a couple of months ago. And when they did, Nundiscon, which is the convention I work for, picked up a bunch of their things at wholesale, including these tablecloths. First day stuff, because you were working on that new job? Do you have a new job? When did that happen? I'm having a little bit of a problem with it because a lot of people seem to have changed jobs suddenly. So I'm having a problem remembering which one of my beloved friends has changed jobs. So, did you change jobs, Brent? There we go. So, right. This one skirts underneath here. So we don't want to lose this one. We don't want to fold it up. It lives right there. These guys now will full-time state employee. That's actually pretty good. Good job, man. There we go. All I'm doing is just folding up the remainder of these tablecloths. I went and got them all, and I washed them and dried them. Anyway, they are tablecloths from the Denver Merchandise Mart. And of course, I really wanted to wash them. They were dirty. But these were the rejects that NDK did not want. And the reason that NDK did not want them was because they either were not the right color or they weren't the right rig or something. So I ended up with them to cover my tables whenever I'm at conventions, because we don't always get tablecloths at conventions. It's actually somewhat irritating. So it's kind of a thing. So since we're not necessarily going to get tablecloths at the convention, I figure it's safer to put tablecloths in my convention box, which goes with me to conventions. Because then I will always have a tablecloth, even if I don't, in fact, have a tablecloth. Alrighty. That's my quick break. Back to it. All right. My buddy James absolutely adores these weird shaped screws. And they're so funky and bizarre, and I don't even know what to think about them. But he loves them, and that is his thing. This is the project table over here. This is where the projects live. Including this beast. Whew. Now, it's important. Oh boy. This guy has a stand that works because he's going to live permanently right there. And he does because one of the things that's going to happen over here is my massive scanning projects. I have a ton of scanning projects. And so at the moment, I'm going to, hey, stop attacking stuff, George. I know I freaked you out a little. Stop attacking stuff, George. Thank you. George has really freaked out about everything in here because everything in here has changed or altered or something, and he is really freaked out about all of it. So that's okay. He'll get there in time. So, okay. So we are now looking at, hey, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, we got the printer over here. This is my work table. Underneath it is going to be my drawing tools, which are right there. I can already see my convention box, which probably should live actually over here. And I think what probably is really going to permanently live here will ultimately be my lights and my green screen and things for filming. My camera, all that stuff will live right here. At the moment, underneath here, you can kind of see the structure. Let's see if I can do this. You can kind of see the structure right here. James built these structures that look like the number 4 with one side of it. Let's do this right, like this. So it's like this, and he's bolted this to the wall. And these are legs so that these are firm. These themselves, what the tables are closet doors. I had a bunch of extra closet doors out in the garage. And so I took the closet doors and turned them into desks, which is perfect because they have the holes for the doorknobs, make for all of the cables going down into underneath these doors so that I don't have to run cables in front. I can run them behind. Which I'll show you what this looks like by doing this. Right? And we've got effectively, this is what it looks like. Give it a second here, and it'll work on it. Hi camera. Hi camera. Work with me here, huh? Oh well. Anyway, you can kind of get the idea of what's going on here. So there we go. I've got the audio controls are over here on this side. And then I've got another open work area on this side, which allows me to do other kinds of small projects. I'm going to probably put the second camera. I had two cameras before. I'm probably going to put that second camera right here, overlooking this work area. That way you can join me whenever I do this kind of stuff. And I can do all kinds of little projects over here, which require building or constructing or something like that. And you'll be able to watch that from this side. So that's good. So this is the new thing that I'm working on here. Back behind me is working on all of the stuff for projects and things like that. Under here is going to be scanning materials and things like that. This is a bunch of markers. This is white paper, just normal paper. Unclear. These are both art supply things, which are going to go in that. Not, in fact. Let's stay here. There we go. That goes there. So does this guy. There. Look at that. Already starting to clear up this section. What I need I have no idea what this is. I'm like zero clue. I have another pen. Another thumb tack. What I need is to bring my bag of trash back in here. A huge bag of trash, which I have been accumulating for a while, to clean my office to do this project. These things, then something. All right. A whole bunch of manga right here. Generally, I like this big cigar box because it's great. It's magnetic. It has important important ships in it. Which means I will keep it over here. You. That's 3. Now we're down to my legitimate box of invention stuff. This is paint. End up over here. And these are markers, which will over here. And this is George, which will end up over here. There we go. Yeah. Little did you know that you'd get caught in all of this moving, huh? You know you get caught in all the moving. There we go. He's such a George. Here, I'll just take a break. What do you think? Take a break? Take a break. Okay, enough break. George has gotten big, hasn't he? He's gotten bigger and squirmier. He's only squirmy because he really wants to know what's going on in here. He really, really, really wants to know what's happening. Okay. Let's talk about my convention box. Because it's only a matter of time before we actually have to go back to conventions and tabling. I say have to, like, it's such a terrible, terrible, horrible thing. I actually rather like working at conventions. So, let's talk about some of the things that... These are blackouts I use for blacking out lines and things like that that come out on the table. Specifically, okay. The very last convention I did was Hexacon, and I can tell I'm still configured for a gaming convention. So now we're looking at prints that are in here, stands that probably could be thrown away, and fabrics. Now, I could put, the question is, this purple is very nice and shiny, and it's got a nice little sheen to it. And I kind of like it. Right? And definitely, this silver is awesome. Right? And I think the blue and the silver, or the blue and the purple, but not both. So I think I'm going to go with blue and silver because I'm a blue guy. Oh, it's going to be in person. So Mile High Con 53 will be in person next month. It will not be virtual. But I would be willing to bet that there will be a mask mandate, which makes sense. Of course, we all know the general population of Mile High Con is elderly, or at least older. And so I would think that all of them would have a mask mandate. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a vaccine mandate too. Because that population is markedly older. All right. We got the Tamerlan, our little tea. Like, we've got I feel like this is a misprint. I'm just saying. I feel like this is a misprint. A funny misprint, but a misprint. We still have some of my beloved, I think only one of those left. We've only got one Supergirl, looks like. Let's go ahead and just... You know what's great about having large work areas? I can check. I can see. All right. For those who are Witches of Flame fans, probably one of you, I've got the Super G version of the come on, the Gemini Gemini ship. I've got a Witches of Flame with, we've got, looks like one remaining of my X-23s. Then let's open this up. What do we have in here? A bunch of bags. Huh. Okay. That's not helping us a whole lot. If you're just joining me today, we are doing house cleaning. We have reorganized my office to be a large open space in the middle. And quite seriously, like I can go all the way back to here and it's just open all the way across. So I'm going through now, and you know that's stuck to your face, right? Okay. I'm going through now and just looking through things. A little chibi poster. Chibis. Anybody want a chibi? And do you want to do your character? These are all things. I'm going to do new pictures for this and actually print them for the convention because they should be printed. Okay, what do I got in here? Looks like we might have more prints. What do we have? Oh, we got this piece. I like this piece. I've always liked this piece. This is a good piece. More from the universe of Witches of Flame. Ah! We have another Harley. I'm kind of glad I'm staggering these out because I didn't realize I had more than one Harley. So we're all scanning. The best part about putting all of these up is we have a few more X-23. Looks like a handful of the Witches of Flame. Yeah, this needed to happen a long time ago. I am noticing that, oh yeah, here we go. One of my hottest sellers, generally speaking, is my Black Widow. This one's a good print. It's a solid print. And then I have a Death. Sandman's Death. Dee. I like her. She's good. Righty. We go back further. And okay, see, I think I sell a whole bunch of these and then I don't. And it's all because they're not organized. I'm like, oh, I don't know when to order new ones. It always has something to do with the fact that I am really horrible at keeping things organized. Okay, bags. Keeping the bags. We got an Ivy, Supergirl, the Pistolero, the original. Here's some Ivy prints. Supergirl, Dee Dee, Batgirl. Okay. Okay. I'm now feeling like we are in. So this is the portfolio, the large portfolio thing. Look here. Let's see. I know I pulled out a Dee Dee somewhere along the line. I think she's right there. All right. Some people really liked Dee Dee in this larger version and format, and some didn't. So we're going to put Dee Dee. Oh, that's right. Part of the reason this is going on is this doesn't fit. All right. Put all my X23s here. Ultimately, guys, we won't be selling these anymore on the floor. Sort of feel a little like they're Marvel properties, or what are you doing? They're Marvel properties, or they are DC properties. And I kind of feel like I should only sell my properties out there on the floor. So we're getting to the point where I'm pretty much not reordering any more of these. And at some point, I just won't be selling them anymore. Put that at the bottom. All right. You. You down there. Put these guys on top. There we go. So now we have reorganized for sale. Here's my sales box. Which only has a small amount of things in it, but it does have my sales tax license and things like that in here. It's useful. How to use your swiper reader. And it has I'm mostly charged energy mink. Are you saying that I should draw that? Because if I draw that, nobody will think that it's somebody else's stuff. Because you're right. At this point in time, generic D&D characters work just fine. For a while there, I had taken. Okay, so here's what we're doing. These are the blue tablecloths. Okay, I'll put that one in. I'm going to take this other blue tablecloth. So I have two blue tablecloths in case we ever need it. And then I have this silver tablecloth, which I like too. The question really is, what should I do with the old things? I mean, I had, these are awesome colors, right? This is a green, a light green, like alarming green felt. And I like having super bright colors because people see it. One of the things that I discovered was if I don't have a cover to cover the whole table, then I can't park it for the night. So, I think this guy is a crushed velvet backdrop. I think I could either use him as an actual backdrop up here, which I might do. Orange for Broncos. So, yeah, I mean, I've got like this wonderful orange. Which just is orange fabric. The problem is that it wrinkles like mad. And that's kind of unpleasant. I mean, I like the color. It's good and it's bright. But the truth of the matter is it's super wrinkly. And looks like David Brinkley. This guy, as much as I love him, really, well, he's good for covering the whole table. I mean, there we go. I'll keep the black one, frankly, because the black one really should be on the bottom. And let's go ahead and do this. The black one will be you've left your desk, so when you leave your desk, you should cover everything. So we'll do that and that. We'll have some those. All right. That also will help because I think my artwork gets a little squished down there in the bottom. Oh yeah, Donald. I need some art up in the background. I need art that's not somebody else's art up in the background. Because that's what's going on right now over here. I've had one of the artists I follow. I have her art up here Purnell, and I love her art and everything like that. But the truth of the matter is, it's her art, not mine. And I really probably ought to put my art up. Oh man, there we go. Look at this. Look at us doing good. All right. So now we've done convention box 1, which really is the only convention box at the moment. And what we will also do is take a picture of all of these. I once had a guy pay for his character, and he never came back. And so this guy stays with me forever and ever and ever. Amen. But I don't know where to find him. All right, there's one. Here's 2. I'm just taking a picture of all of the cards that I had going, because these were evolved while we were doing things, while we were in the middle of Hexacon. And though these aren't the world's best, oh, these are the blocks too. Damn it. These aren't the best signs. They are what we're looking kind of for here, right? There we go. One of the things I was doing at conventions was these draw your character while we wait things. All of these down here in trash now that I've taken a picture. So here is something that I wouldn't mind. Right? This is our fantasy football team. One of the things that we could put up here is this.
It's time to take a quick break.
This is Genham Tower. And it's, there we go. I'm trying to kind of get it organized so it's not reflective. Genham Tower was from an anime called Bubblegum Crisis. And that is a backdrop. And it actually is legitimately a backdrop from Bubblegum Crisis. It's hard to get this to snag, though. There we go. Right there is where I like to keep it. It's too small to put it where you guys can see it, because you wouldn't see it on that far wall back there. So now we have a reversed break. Right now is the time where I'm going to come over here and sit down for a minute. Whew, and take a break, because we've done a lot. Yeah, so if you guys go look up the old 80s, 90s, I mean like late 80s, early 90s, I think it was 1990 or 1991, anime called Bubblegum Crisis, you will find this piece. And this piece is or you'll find this was a backdrop, a background for it. So, that's one of those cool things is like, this is one of those backgrounds from way back when. So, I've gotten this quadrant over here done. That's not bad. Now, originally, I had a fire Valkyrie back there, but I don't know if I want to put a fire Valkyrie back up there. The fire Valk was cool. But I feel kind of like... Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is keep moving this way as we come up on the next section of the office. So we are going to have to figure out what to do with the old desks. So at the moment, my computer sits, not you. Computer, do you have a note for me?
I didn't find any notes. To create one, you can say things like...
That's not what I was asking. Do you have a memo for me, computer? Do you have a message for me?
No messages from today. For earlier ones, go to the Alexa app. One new notification from Amazon Shopping. Your Epson WF7610 series is running low on Epson 252 letter toner. The manufacturer recommends Epson DuraBrite Ultra 8 standard capacity yellow cartridge. Here are the product details from Amazon. Epson T252
Computer,
DuraBrite.
Stop. Okay, so now it's actually advertising to me. That's obnoxious. The printer is out of ink. It just reported that to Amazon. Yeah, well, we've always had sort of a group of people who draw anime. That's sort of a thing. I mean, it attracts the artists because it's stylized. I feel like it's a very stylized form of art. And so we get a lot of people who are art-oriented, sort of people. So there you go on that bout. But I don't know if I necessarily feel like it is specifically girls or boys. We just get a lot of people in each generation. So, okay. Now that we've done that, we've gotten to that zone there. That's cleared out. And I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. I need to get to a point where I can take this power line and run it along the back there. Because it's got to go behind the armoire. Whale, guys, whale. Hi, Brent. Donald gets around to saying hi. Okay. Looking at this section. This section is going to be the printer. From now on, the 3D printer is going to actually print from here. It's part of the reason we did all of this, so that I'd be able to get to the dumb printer so that we can do this. So, printer, I'm going to have that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Okay. So, anybody have experience in resin? Curious. Like, Anybody out there? Do you guys have experience in not resin printing, like 3D printing, but actually like casting resin? Oh yeah. At some point in time, it'll be good. Somewhere along the line, Donald, I'll just be like, I don't have anything today. You want me to draw you something? It'll be funny. So it'll occur. Don't worry. We just have had a whole lot of work to do the last however long. Oh, Insane George has joined me again. And Insane George is leaving again. Okay, well, there's that. Just realized I got one of those multi doodly wops, and I didn't. Oh well. So yeah, the resin things, resin, and I'll tell you why. So there's another Star Trek secret. That I'm about to show you. And that is this guy. Now, many people will recognize this as one of those grills for the lighting sets. But what I want to do with it is one of the things they did in Star Trek was they put colored resin inside each one of these holes and then just put lights behind it that went meow, 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 meow. And my thought is I could make a lit installation back here like that, which would apparently attract George, because weird things attract George, and he's not going to be able to stand not knocking it over. But my thought is I can make a lighting installation using the lights that are over here. I've had these ongoing kind of Christmas lights things that have been over here in this section for quite a while. But the problem is I don't know how to cast the resin so that it won't come, or so that it won't tear, and it won't be clear or whatever. Right? But I mean, over here I've had these lights that I've had for a long time. In this section, some of them have been here for ages and ages. And I've been thinking about this, and I got them 100 million years ago, back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. And I put them up here because they were kind of cool. But the truth is, they'd be cooler if I could make an installation out of them. So, now we're going to talk about an idea of making an installation out of this. huge these huge strings of LEDs that I have. I just pulled out of that section over there. So I have these huge strings of LEDs. I think it'd be really cool to cast them in that, right? The question is, how? If I take, the idea would be to take some of this string. I don't even know where the loose ends of this thing is. A couple of strings in here. Anyway, the idea is that you take these strings and you place the LEDs inside each one of these little bays, right? You can't get them to go straight to one, so you have to do every third or whatever and then come back and go the other direction. Might be cooler to do if I had some kind of, let's see, yeah, it's all kind of weirdly dark over there. Anyway, so my thought was that I could take and make an art installation, go back there behind everything, and then light up. There we go. Toss those away. Yeah, well, I thought about that too. Kind of wondering if maybe the alternative really is to hold the socket in place there. So instead of going the top way, go the bottom way, so that you can just replace those bulbs if they go out, because already a few of these bulbs are dead. But the other thing is, wouldn't it be nice to have ones that blinked? Because those are actually steady on. They don't blink. So maybe I'll see. There we go. Let's see if we've got blinking Christmas tree lights. Yeah, because like these are just standard blinking lights. For those of you that really want to cover your entire frickin' house with these things, Yeah, because I mean, these things would look like they'd be. I'm looking at ones on Amazon. They'd just be insane. So, there you go. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing is I could probably just cast the entire front in like this much resin, right? Not a lot, just enough to give it a nice sheen. And then put like maybe, oh, you know what would work? Probably is that peg backing stuff. The stuff that makes, or pegboard. That's what I was looking for. I was just having such a problem with it. Pegboard might work really well. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I think pegboard might be perfect, right? Because then we could do that, put pegboard on the front of it, spray paint that all silver so that all of the little boxes then are silver and reflective on the inside. And then put silver pegboard in the back. Yeah, that might be the ideal situation. So take those and then fill them with about this much resin, not a lot. So each square has a glassy cover over it. Right? Because then it doesn't have to have, I don't have to put a piece of Plex in front of it, If I put a diffuser on it, though, if I put a diffuser on it, what we would get is really cool effect of squares that light up. I mean, that would be exactly what would happen, is each square would light up individually. The more I think about this, the more I like it. Because then you could put, if we put a diffuser on the front, or just mixed the resin to be somewhat foggy and milky, just a little bit of white in it or whatever, so that the resin is slightly milky. Then you put those on there, you might end up with actual squares that light up individually. See, this is the way to do this. I'm telling you, we're on to something here. This is good. All right. Somebody in the work group yesterday left their drink in here. It wasn't me. You make pouring things out really difficult. Yep, maybe. All right. Really wanted to go pour out the drink that somebody left, but I have a problem. He's just decided the sink is a great place to be. So I was like, well, I'll just, pour it out later, I guess. Oh, yeah. Whew. That might not be a bad plan. I wouldn't. We're running a 5 right now. And that's not a bad. I mean, I like the system just fine. One thing that I really like as far as a system goes is I'm liking D&D, or D&D. I'm liking Star Trek Adventures system. Because it's a very solid system. I like it a lot. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the SATA transformer back in that. I actually don't know where its power cord went. So once I find that guy's power cord, which I think is right here. It is. This guy would be over here. So I think that's a great idea. The old D&D modules are fun. At some point here, our group is going to end up playing D&D, the old D&D like 2 module, where they went to Barrier Peaks. There we go. This thing's cool. All this is literally a connector cable from a USB port to a SATA hard drive connector. Another bin over here. All right. But I have one more storage bin. Huh. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. There we go. Grandfather used to say that all the time. If this was a snake, it would have bit you. And there's less light over here now, though. I don't know if I like the fact that there's less light in this section of this. Temptation treats, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He can be on the. He can be in the sink. That's all I need, the sink, which is right now. Good. You've moved on. I've noticed. Test. Okay. There we go. Okay. You know, that's what Mariah was saying, my wife. She was saying I should put a shelf up there to show off the models. I think it's not a bad idea. Certainly. I wonder if I can even get back here. I don't think I can. I think this overlap is not easy to de-overlap. That's right, we can move things if we really need to. The real thing we don't want to do is set up a situation where things must be moved. And right now, we can afford to move these things out. And then we can get into it. Here. What we're doing is we're moving this so I can fix that light in that corner. More importantly, I put my camera stuff back here. Not realizing that it would actually be kind of difficult to get back here. So, move this and that and this. flip this light around. Put him up there. And this light bounces light into this corner. But I can now aim it like this. To get more light in general. Like that. There we go. Because we don't really need, we need more light this way. Well, camera out here in this corner. We're going to fix a couple of other things. For example, we're going to trade this guy for the one that's over there, because there's an outlet that's going through the wall and coming out the other side. Actually, wish to be logical about this. So we're going to take this guy and push him through there. We'll let him have this light. And then we'll go over here. Unplug this guy. And feed him back through the other side. And then plug in this guy. Actually, wouldn't mind putting him, both of them, on the other side of this, so that they're all on this extension cord. This guy, being that he's actually a multi-outlet, I'm going to put going this way so that I can put him here. Now we can put the desk back. Whew. All of this weird work we all have to do. Get this to go. Okay. That puts that light on that other circuit and gives me a power cord down here, which is usable later. And this is photography, which we will put back there. All right, that was a lot of stuff. Now George is doing the, I need to figure this out. Poor George. All of this moving freaks him out because he doesn't know what to do. Everything changes. So he doesn't know how to handle the world And he gets a little like unsure and uncomfortable. And there we go. Poor George. Uncomfortable little George. All right. I like my yardsticks. I stole them from my dad. And I should say, hey, nothing wrong with that. See you tomorrow. We'll actually be doing drawing tomorrow instead of cleaning up this mess. My dad had a bunch of various things which he devoted to. In fact, I'm kind of at it is 10:30 and I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not going to be getting to drawing today. We'll be lucky if I get to just being able to cross my office today. But I'm kind of thinking I really need to spend some time over here off camera, and you won't be able to see me very well and stuff like that. So kind of thinking of calling it for the day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And then we will be able to get started like real people. And we'll be able to get this under control. And everything will be awesome. So, anyway, that's what I think we'll do. It is 10:30. I see that there's 4 of you guys on here. I appreciate you guys all being here. Unless you guys really want to watch me going ahead and argue with this section over here, which, maybe you do. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to work on this section going this way. And hopefully, cross our fingers, I'll be able to get to the point where we are ready to get cracking on stuff. Pretty soon, I would think. Pretty soon. So, this looks horrible right now. Well, it doesn't actually look horrible. We've done really good. Getting those bins out of the way was a major plus. Because that allows me to put those bins back where they belong. This guy just needs to go right there once this is all set up. The printer needs to be plugged in. And I think we'll be ready to rock and roll here pretty soon. I just need to kind of get organized. That's what I need to do. So, okay. So there we go, guys. I think that's pretty much it. That's all the damage we're going to do today. We did get this light turned around. That's a nice thing. I actually think I might lift it up. I don't know if I want to lift it up, though. It looks pretty cool the way it is. That light works. That light is still stuck, and I haven't gotten to this corner yet. I will. So, okay. Standing desks are up and running. And now all I got to do is get the rest of my life organized, and we will be in great shape. It's actually not bad. It's not bad, guys. Not bad at all. Got about 2 more hours, maybe 3 more hours worth of work in here, and we'll be done. Then I can actually start moving around in the center section of this room. And I'll be able to do stuff. And it'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be great. And then we will have, I'm feeling a little down on the lights, though. I feel like they're not as bright. You know what I mean? I mean, the lights behind me are good. It gives me good like definition across here. I still kind of feel like we got light that's kind of cool on this side that's working. That light still needs to be mounted properly. Yeah, I still feel like we kind of have a little bit of a lighting issue that we're going to have to work on. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We're almost there. Right, George? We're almost there. Okay. That's it. That's what we're going to do today. We are done for the day then. I'm going to go on ahead and get going for the day. Thank you all for joining me, all four of you. I do very much appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow at Standing Desk Land. This is going to be harder. I can tell already because I'm tired. Like 3 times already got tired just standing. You know, so this isn't going to be easy. I can already tell. It's not being any fun. So that's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there. The idea behind this is to be healthier. And like all of us, we need to be healthier and we need to live longer and prosper. So live long and prosper. All right, guys. Tonight we've got, hey, Brent, tonight we've got a special guest coming in on Geek Tank. We'll be talking about NFTs, which is the non-fungi token, fungusly tokens. Anyway, we'll be talking about those. And I've got a buddy who is a computer person, like programmer, kind of hardcore computer person, who's really, really good at explaining weird things like that to me. So I'm going to have him explain that to me. So he will be our guest tonight, and that will be awesome. And so I will see you tonight at 8 o'clock. No, Chelsea should be with us. She should be with us. She just doesn't know anything else about NFTs either, other than she has opinions. I mean, it's Chelsea. Her not having an opinion would be weird. I'd be like, I think the world was coming to an abrupt and meaningless end or something. So anyway, so Chelsea will be there. And so will my friend Shane, who will be helping us. So that's cool. And we will talk about NFTs tonight. And that's at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. So if you want to join us, anybody else, you may do so. In the meantime, I'm going to go now and figure out what I'm going to do about all of this. But maybe turn on some good old 80s music. Get me kind of revved up for it. And for everybody else, you know how this goes. Keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye. Computer, good night.